my kitchen. My name is Ben. I'm a dad, a husband, a commercial airline captain, a musician, and an avid cook. Today, submitted for your approval, is Kevin Malone's biggest fan's best chili. This chili recipe may not be for you. It's quite spicy, and if you would like to leave the spice out of it and make just a really good chili, you can leave out the jalapeno peppers and the red cayenne pepper. This chili is quite rustic in nature in that it has a variety of different textures and flavor profiles. In order to make good chili, you need to build it in layers. And as each layer cooks and each ingredient is added, that layer's flavor is only enhanced. So, the secret to life is good food, good friends, and good wine. Today, let's make some good food. Okay, we have done our mise en place. We have 1 pound of ground beef, which is locally sourced from my mother and father-in-law's farm. We have 1 pound of spicy Italian sausage. We have 1 yellow onion diced. We have 3 cloves of garlic diced, 1 red bell pepper, which is chopped in large pieces, 2 cans, approximately 30 ounces of red kidney beans, and 1 can, approximately 15 ounces of pinto beans. Now, you can use the dried beans and rehydrate them, but I find it just as easy to use the canned beans. It is important to drain the canned beans off and also rinse the beans to get any of the salty water that's in there off of them. For the tomatoes, we have 1 large can of diced tomatoes. We're going to use approximately 3 ounces of tomato paste and 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. We'll also use about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 cup of beef broth, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, that's the cumin, that's the paprika, that's the paprika, that's the cumin. We have 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Towards the end of the cooking process, we're going to add brown sugar to taste. If you're not a fan of sweet chili, you can leave out the brown sugar. We've added the green onions to garnish, as well as some sour cream should you prefer it. Now again, this is a spicy chili. As you can see here, we have some green small diced jalapeno. If you're not a fan of spice, you can simply leave out the jalapeno, the cayenne pepper, and you can transition to regular Italian sausage or just regular unflavored sausage instead of using the spicy Italian sausage. Let's go to Okay, folks, here we are. We're going to start out by just very, very lightly sweating our onion and garlic. We're not going to salt this this early in the cooking process because we're going to end up adding a little bit more salt to taste with the next ingredients. But at any rate, we'll start these sweating. Generally, if you want to sweat these onions and get them going a little bit quicker, you would salt them at this stage. But we're just going to leave them alone and let them get happy in the pot. I have the heat on high just to get it rolling, and I've added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and now I'm just coating them nicely. We will let these soften just a little bit. It's really nice with chili that you can take your time with each ingredient and really analyze how that ingredient is going to affect the flavor profile and the texture of your chili. I like my chili, like I said earlier, to be a little bit chewy, and that you can tell that there's different ingredients in the chili and it's not so homogeneous. So we're going to undercook the onions just a little bit, as they will cook fully throughout the rest of the cooking process. Once you start to smell the garlic, you know that the garlic has started to release some of its fragrance. So next we will add our ground beef and our sausage, and we'll take that all the way till it's brown. I like the sausage in this chili. It adds just a little bit more of a rich flavor to it. Some people like your cowboy chilies, which is just beef and a nice broth with a little bit of tomato to it. This chili really has quite a bit more of a tomato profile to it, and also with the spicy Italian sausage, it just adds something different to it, where you can tell that this isn't just any chili that you're going to get at a convenience store or at any restaurant anywhere. This is something personal that you have made that'll make your guests go, wow, that's really interesting. Serve this on a cold day. One of the things in the Midwest I like to do, as I live here in the Midwest, is make a pot of this chili on the first snow of the season. Just kind of makes you feel right at home. All right, we'll check back with you once the meat is brown, and once that's done, we're off to the races. Okay, and we're back. One thing I like to do when I'm doing chili, because there's so much moisture and fat that comes off the ground beef and sausage, is just create a little pocket in the middle and scoop off any of the fat and water that's not going to really boil out throughout this process, because again, we try not to crowd meat when it's in the pan, just to get that moisture out of there. We like to have a little bit more of a brown flavor than that boiled meat flavor. So again, just take the time, do the little bit extra to skim some of this fat and some of this water, which essentially is what it is, off of your pan. That way you get that nice fond at the bottom of the pan as you're browning. And that fond, which is the browning in the bottom of the pan, is just going to enhance your flavor even more. So once we get that off, we'll go ahead and add our spices. We're going to let these cook in there a little bit and just let them roll. Once they become fragrant and the scent is just beautiful, once you get these spices cooking on the stove, then we'll add the peppers and let them roll a little bit. Again, if you're not a fan of spicy chili, go ahead and leave out the cayenne pepper. Switch the spicy Italian sausage out for a different sausage, and then leave the jalapenos in the store. I like it spicy. If you're a fan of spicy chili and you find this to be too spicy, go ahead and add some either Greek yogurt, non-flavored Greek yogurt, or some sour cream to your recipe. There we go, that's what we like. We want to go ahead and pull that meat off to the side, and then we don't have any more liquid in there anymore before we start adding our next flavor. So we'll turn the heat back down to medium, and we'll toss our peppers in. Again, we have one red bell pepper and one jalapeno. I've de-seeded the jalapeno, cut it in half and diced it into smaller chunks. Oh, this smells awesome. This is going to be great. Once we reduce the heat, we'll let the peppers just sit in here a little bit and try to absorb some of the flavor from the beef. And also let the jalapenos let out some of their oils into the beef before we water it down with the tomatoes and the beef broth. This is also a good time where you could add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I think I'm going to go with a couple teaspoons here, and that'll really enhance that beefy flavor. And this is, again, why I'm not going to salt it too much right now, other than what was called for in the directions, because Worcestershire sauce is already just a little bit salty. Oh, that smells good. Not really paying too much attention and breaking up the big chunks of meat. Again, like I said, this is a rustic chili that should have some texture to it. The nice thing about this chili recipe is it doesn't take all day to make. Okay, so we've had everything pretty well browned and all the flavors nicely combined. Let's go ahead and add our beans to the pot. And we'll stir those in. They tend to be a little bit more delicate towards the end of the cooking process, so you want to go ahead and stir them in early while they're still cold and raw. We don't want to turn this into refried beans later on. We'll let that go for just a minute. Now we'll get our tomato paste in there. And again, I'm using just about 3 ounces of it. This is a 5-ounce container, so I'm just gonna leave what I think is about 2 ounces in the left in the squeeze bottle, and we'll just mix that in. Some people like to mix the tomato paste in early on in the process, that way it has a chance to brown with the meat, but when you're using this quantity of meat, I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference to add it now or add it earlier in the process. It definitely makes a difference for the spices if you add the spices now and the peppers now before you add the liquid ingredients. But again, the tomato paste, it really doesn't matter. Some people like to brown their tomato paste a little bit, and they think that that would enhance the tomato flavor of it. I've done it both ways. I really haven't noticed too much of a difference so long as you stick with the recipe as written. Okay, so the tomato paste is in there. The meat's nicely brown. Let's go ahead and add our 1 cup of beef broth. We'll add our large can of diced tomatoes. And one small can of tomato sauce. We'll go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit just to bring this to a simmer. But right now, let's mix. I wish you could smell this. It is unbelievable. We'll bring this up to a simmer. And if you'd like, you're certainly welcome to transfer this to a crock pot and let it go for as long as you'd like. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave it in this pan. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, and I'm going to let it roll. I'm going to let it roll for about 45 minutes. And that way, as one famous person said, everybody gets to know each other in the pot. And you'll see this looks kind of dry right now. It won't here in a little bit. There'll be more moisture released from the vegetables and more moisture released from the beans and also from the beef. So, that being said, let's put the lid on. Turn it all the way down to low and we'll let her go. Oh my goodness, get ready for this. Remember how dry it looked earlier? And in just 7 minutes in, look at all that beautiful, beautiful broth rise to the top. I like to give it a stir every so often just to get anything that may be sticking to the bottom off, but I'm being very, very careful not to break up any of the pepper, as the pepper is pretty well fully cooked right now. Now we're just trying to get every little bit of flavor out of it, and the beans. We just want to make sure that nothing is sticking on the bottom, and that also, if anything didn't really mix in earlier, it's well, it's mixing in now. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Chili looks great. It's got a lot of moisture in it. Everything looks very well balanced. The meat is balanced with the beans and the vegetables and the broth and everything that's with it. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. We know we're going to add brown sugar to it, but I always like to try first just to see how much exactly I do need to add. So, wow. I don't want to add any more salt to that. It's just absolutely perfect. Ooh, then the heat hits you later. It's kind of a slow burn. That is exactly, every time now it's almost foolproof, this recipe, if you do it like this. Let's go ahead and add some brown sugar to it. I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna do about two tablespoons of brown sugar. And we'll mix that into it here. And then that will melt down. There's a little molasses in brown sugar that will liquefy. And just add a very, very little hint of sweetness that will probably come in order, so you'll get the nice tomato and acidic flavor right away. Then you'll get a little bit of sweetness after that, and then the heat will come later. Just like building chili in a pot with its different layers, the flavor on your palate is going to develop in different layers. It's awesome. Okay, I've let the brown sugar go in here for about another 2 to 3 minutes. And let's give it a taste. This time I'm going to get a little bit of beef, a little pepper, maybe oh, there's a jalapeno right there. Let's give it a go. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. That screams skiing, hunting, football, tailgate. Oh wow. Hot dogs. That's what's so cool about chili. There's an endless thing you can do with it. But next, I'm going to show you how I like to plate my chili. I really like green onions on chili. Let's do it. Got some green onions here. I've already kind of trimmed the tops off a little bit. And this is mainly for garnish, but just a little bit of flavor and crunch. Like I said, I like a little crunch, so We're gonna go ahead and take these down a bit. Now that's good enough for about 3 bowls of chili right there. Let's go ahead and plate it up. So we're going to take a nice healthy amount here. Oh, you can see the chunks of garlic in there. My goodness, that is beautiful. And about that much there. Let's go ahead and roll on a little dollop of sour cream. About like that. A little green onion. And there you have it. Kevin Malone's biggest fans, famous chili. Make chili. It's good. And there you have it, folks. That's my chili recipe. Again, Kevin Malone's biggest fans, famous chili. You can do a lot with it. You don't have to just do the sour cream, like I said, if it's too spicy for you. You can do some plain Greek yogurt. You can crumble up some pre-fried bacon bits and toss it on there. You can even put some cheese on there, but we all know that when we eat soup with shredded cheese on it, we end up getting that little cheese beard coming down the side of our mouth, which is less appetizing among friends. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try. Let me know in the comments below. And if this is just pure blasphemy to be called chili in your cookbooks, well, I don't care because I love it. I got nothing else. It's amazing. Bye-bye.